Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll tell you the story of the Swordman's Silence. In the highlands of feudal Japan, there lived a samurai named Takeda Ranjiro, a warrior of unmatched skill and pride. He had never lost a duel and was feared across the provinces. Tales of his blade, sharp as lightning, fast as thought, echoed through every village he passed. But as his fame grew, so did his ego. One spring, Ranjiro heard whispers of a Zen monk who had conquered the self and lived without anger. They said this monk resided in a small monastery and never lifted a weapon. Yet warriors came from miles around to learn from him. Some said even great generals bowed before his wisdom. Ranjiro scoffed. "What power lies in silence?" he muttered. "I'll test this monk myself." He rode for days, past rivers and ridges, until he reached the misty cliffs where the Shunsai monastery stood, a quiet whisper between pine trees. There, sweeping cherry blossoms from the stone courtyard, stood an old monk in simple grey robes. Ranjiro dismounted, his hands on his katana. "Are you the monk they call Shun?" he asked, voice sharp. The monk nodded, not stopping his sweeping. "I am Takeda Ranjiro. I have defeated bandits, swordsmen, even generals. They say you have conquered yourself. Let us duel. Prove your strength." Shun swept a fallen blossom into his pan. "I do not fight," he said gently. Ranjiro sneered. "Because you can't?" Shun looked up. Perhaps because I no longer wish to conquer others, when the true enemy lies within." "Enough riddles!" Ranjiro shouted. "Draw your weapon!" Shun bowed slightly and turned away. "You may strike me if you wish, but I will not raise my hand." For the first time in years, Ranjiro's hands trembled, not from fear, but from something he could not name. His blade remained sheathed. He stormed away, his pride boiling. That night, Ranjiro sat outside the monastery gates, his sword across his lap. Rain began to fall, soft at first, then harder. He didn't move. The silence of the mountain pressed down on him more heavily than any warrior's stare. In his mind, he replayed that encounter. Why had he not struck? Why did the monk's stillness feel more powerful than any sword? Suddenly, he remembered a boy he had killed during a raid 5 years ago. An enemy's son who had lunged at him with a wooden spear. The boy's eyes had shown no fear, only sadness. Ranjiro never forgot. And now, this monk's eyes, calm, clear, still, haunted him. At dawn, soaked and sleepless, Ranjiro returned to the monastery courtyard. Shun was watering a bonsai tree. "Why didn't you fight?" Ranjiro asked. Shun looked up. "When a storm comes, do the trees argue with the wind?" Ranjiro scowled. "Then you think me the wind, wild and reckless?" "I think," Shun said, "you are tired." Ranjiro sat heavily on the steps. For the first time in years, he took off his sword and placed it beside him. "I have lived by the sword since I was 12. But in your silence, I felt something deeper than fear." Shun nodded. "When a man conquers another, he is strong. But when he conquers himself, he is mighty." Ranjiro stayed for a day, then a week. At first, he trained alone, chopping wood, cleaning, meditating reluctantly. But slowly, the rhythm of monastery life began to quiet his mind. He asked Shun many questions, but the monk answered few. "Truth is not given," he would say. "It is revealed through stillness." One evening, as the cherry trees blossomed, Ranjiro found himself sitting in the meditation for the first time without anger. His mind wandered, but he didn't chase it. He breathed, watched, and let go. In that silence, he saw clearly. All his life, he had been chasing approval, his father's praise, the fear of others, the legend of the invincible samurai. But in trying to be the unbreakable, he had become hollow. A month passed, then one morning a rider came to the monastery gates with news. War had broken out in the east. The Lord of Kanto had sent for Ranjiro to lead his force. The rider held a decree sealed with imperial ink. Ranjiro looked at the letter for a long time. Then he bowed to Shun. "I must go," he said. Shun nodded. "Go, not to fight, but to serve." As Ranjiro rode away, his sword remained on his hip, but something had changed. The battlefield was chaos. Arrows flew, blades clashed, men screamed. Ranjiro fought with precision, but no longer with fury. He gave orders that saved hundreds. He spared a captured enemy general who reminded him of himself, a proud man who had simply believed the wrong things. When the war ended, Ranjiro returned not to the capital for reward, but to the mountains. There, Shun was planting vegetables. "You fought," the monk said without looking up. "I did," Ranjiro said, "but I did not kill needlessly." Shun smiled. "Then the silence has found you." Years later, villagers spoke of a quiet man who had taught swordsmanship, not for war but for discipline, a man who carried his katana yet never drew it. Some said he was once a samurai, others whispered he was once a ghost of violence, reborn in silence. And in a small mountain monastery, under falling cherry blossoms, the sound of sweeping continued, gentle, constant, peaceful. The moral of the story is that restraint is often more powerful than aggression, and true mastery begins with the self. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And for more stories like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. We'd also love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know what part of the story spoke to you the most. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one with another twist, another tale, and another truth. Bye bye, see you very soon.